Welcome to the Devolution, a show to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us. Standing on the altar and bringing on
Sounds. Hey, hi everybody, and welcome to the Devolution Show. It's a beautiful day today, and it's September. That cold weather was kind of strange, but it's back to being warm now. Is that Crystal? No. Hi. So we're expecting somebody else, maybe. We don't know for sure. But even if she doesn't come, my guest today is the lovely Miss Robin Deveroux Nelson. Welcome to the Devolution Show.
Thanks very much, Deb.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you know what? It's always fun when you're on. I always really have a good time.
Well, I'm glad. We're kind of a dynamic duo.
We are, and we crack each other up.
That's true.
You know, sometimes people don't. I know this is hard for you to believe. Sometimes people don't get me.
I just can't believe that.
I know, but you always do.
She said incredulously.
And I wish you could have seen her face as she said it. You had an incredulous look on your face.
Yes, I did.
So I think that you are a very interesting person.
I think you're a very interesting person.
Well, thank you.
I think a lot of the women that I know through the Devolution Network are pretty interesting folks as well.
You're right. We attract an interesting crowd.
This is a good place to be.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And how do you like our new digs? It's your first time here today?
You know, I love it. It feels great over here. I said it has a real woman power kind of feel, and I like that. So.
Good, yes.
Yeah.
I have just been loving it here. It's just...
Well, you had big windows before, but this is cool.
Yes.
I just really like the windows and...
Thank you very much.
The decor, and it feels good.
Yep, and it's funny, our colors were the same.
That's
Red
okay.
and black, yeah.
That's okay.
It's really cool.
Well, they're very powerful colors.
Yes. So cool. So today, it was, of course, 9/11 today, and I woke up feeling kind of funny this morning, and I couldn't figure out why until I remembered what day it was.
Isn't that kind of funny how we just have that has imprinted on all of us so much? That before you were even awake and cognizant, it's like you had this body memory of that day. I think a lot of us do.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, that chair is loud. That's okay. So many people were talking about where they were on this day when it actually happened. And I'm sure you know where you were.
Yeah, actually, it was real scary because I was working for Ameritech at the time, and I worked in the call center. We helped folks who called in with issues, and it was a really busy place. So the phones were going off all the time. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of conversation. And all of a sudden, all of our phones stopped ringing. Now, I want you to picture this giant room with about 200 operators in it, and all of the phones stopped ringing. And then the management staff came in and called us all over and told us what had happened and said, it's possible that centers of communication will get hit next, and told us that we were not allowed to leave the building.
Oh.
And everybody was we were all frightened. We wanted to call our families, and we weren't exactly sure what was going on. We didn't have any access to the media at the time. But that was the first thing we heard, is that we could get bombed here in our place of work. Wow. And we're asking you to not leave the building right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hoo-wee. That's intense.
Yeah.
I left where I lived in Ohio for the day to go down to see my mom in the hospital. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't with my children, and my mom was kind of dozing, and I watched it, and at first I thought that I was watching a movie.
Right.
Until I realized what it was, and when she woke up, it was on, and she goes, "Oh, what are you watching?" And I was crying, and I told her, and she, oh my God, it was really,
it was very, it was devastating.
It changed our country so much. It made everybody scared for a while.
I think people are still scared. I mean, look at what's happening in our country with the divides between race and religion, and the fear is still happening.
You're right. But then I don't remember who it was, but somebody said we can't live in fear.
Right.
Who was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
But it was somebody, and I really don't remember. Was it Bush? So good for him. He said that we cannot live in fear, that's exactly what they want. And that, I think that helped. And there were so many brave people that it brought our nation together for a while.
I think so. Well, and we've talked on the show before about love and fear.
Right.
Those
it's
are the
exact
two.
Opposite.
Yeah. Everything comes from love or comes from fear. So everything negative from fear and everything good comes from love. So
right.
The way to counter the fear is with love.
That's exactly right. All the world needs now.
That's more than ever.
Right. You're absolutely right. So I chose freedom for us to talk about tonight, be in honor of 9/11, and those aren't as comfortable as the old chairs, are they?
No, they're not.
I'm going to have to get some.
That's okay for us gimpy ladies. I'm a proud gimpy woman. Yes, I am.
We used to have beauty shop chairs in the other building, and those you could just sit in all day.
Well, and twirl. The twirling was fun good for me. Yeah.
We have. I'm going to let you talk for a minute, and I'm going to go get you another chair that I think you'll find.
You don't have to do that.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
I'm positive.
So
you keep me on my toes over here.
Yes. So I am going to read the definition of freedom. Hey, and on Facebook I have what does freedom mean to you? And I'm going to be checking that in just a little bit. If you would like to comment on there, please do, because freedom means something different to everybody.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Janis Joplin's definition of freedom was very unique.
Okay, do you have that?
Another word for nothing left to lose.
That's true.
Yeah. That was the first concert I ever saw, was Janis Joplin. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool, I have to admit. The freedom is a noun, the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. That about sums it up, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like definitions because they don't capture the whole essence of the word, but that one definitely does.
Yeah, I think so.
So what does freedom mean to you besides that definition?
Oh, gosh, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I knew I wouldn't be ready for it.
Well, here it is, that moment.
For me, I think growing up in the time that I grew up, when women were just starting to break out and be able to be themselves. I mean, I was from a very old-fashioned family, and when you were a girl, you were good, you didn't speak, you were happy, you didn't talk about any bad feelings. So for me, being free is being able to feel what I feel and to talk about those things and to be who I am, no matter how goofy that is. I know it's really hard for you to understand that I could be a goofy person, relate. But it's just freedom to be who I am, So, and I see now people around me. I know folks. I know gay women, gay men, and it's refreshing to watch them be able to be themselves. I mean, when I was growing up, people that I knew who were gay didn't talk about that. They weren't free to be themselves, and it made me incredibly sad. And
think how sad they must have been.
Oh, exactly. Yes. And it's like, who cares about what I felt? You know what I'm saying? But I feel fortunate that I can be myself. And some of that freedom is breaking out of your own feelings about yourself enough to be able to feel free.
Right, because we create our own.
We do. We create our own walls and our own prisons as well. So I am glad that I'm in a place where I can throw that shell away and feel free to be who I am.
I'm glad you're in that place as well.
Thank you.
How long have you been in that place?
Not long. I would say maybe 5 years or less. Really. I mean, I was kind of breaking out of the shell, morphing. I was like a dinosaur, taking a long time to break out.
Those shells were thick.
It was a good shell. It was a really good shell. So it took a while. I mean, and there are days when it's, I'm having a bad day and I want to climb back in that shell.
It was
safe.
Yes.
It was safe to be how other people wanted me to be. But I know I'm not happy like that. So,
yes, and freedom is about being happy as well.
It really is.
What about you, Juliana? What is freedom? I'm going to ask you next, Deb.
Okay, so I'll move.
What does freedom mean to you?
Well, you know what she said about being there only for a short time? I'm not certain that I'm there yet. I feel like, I was trying to get there after my divorce, and I don't think I'm there yet. I know I have the freedom to speak and talk and move and do stuff, but there are times that you don't feel like you have that freedom. And so I'm just starting to think, I do have that freedom. Sometimes it takes a while to get used to it, and 6-7 years ago, that was when I got my divorce, so I'm still trying to get back to that freedom.
Wow, it's been that long already?
I know. Okay, I was told that it takes 7 years, and I'm thinking, well, I'm getting close to getting better. I feel like I'm getting better. I don't feel the same way I did, so I feel like I'm getting better. But I don't know if I'm there yet.
So I wonder, 7 years, I think it took me like 10.
I may be in that category that it takes me
until
10.
I really felt like I was really me, because, and yet that marriage was pretty free, but it was better than the one before that, but on one hand, but on the other hand, it was
devastating.
Toward the end, it was really weird because he was pulling away and I didn't want him to. So I lost a lot of myself in that act, trying to bring him back, Well,
I will say one thing that's very unusual. The biggest thing about freedom is the right and to decide things, I get so tired of being held up in limbo, waiting for other people to decide what I should be doing.
Yes.
And that right there is...
You can decide for yourself.
Freedom.
That is big freedom, yes.
I don't have to wait for someone else to say, oh, well, we should do this. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, we're going to do this. And I can decide, now. Mm-hmm. I don't have to wait for somebody else to run it by.
That is a good definition of freedom.
That is it?
The freedom to make up your own mind. That's huge. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. What about you, Deb Z?
Deb Z's freedom. Deb Z's freedom is, thank you, hon, the ability to choose what we wear. Unlike some countries, some people are unable to choose. Today I heard my husband and my brother-in-law talking about freedom because they're both military people, and they were talking about their freedoms, and their military service allowed us the ability to have the freedoms that we have, and that to me is a very big thing. But as women, like you all have been talking about, women, we did not have those freedoms. When my mother was young, she was able to go to school to the 8th grade, and then they said, women don't need to go to school anymore. Yeah. That's it. That's all you need. And she was cut off from her education at that time. So we have freedoms today that our parents didn't necessarily have. Excuse me. But also we have the freedoms because of the people that we know that went into the military, and they fought for our ability and our right for freedoms.
Exactly. So, that's very true.
That's what I was...
I remember when I was a kid, I remember being in 3rd grade or 4th grade, And we lived in the country, and the bus would drop us off, and I had to walk about a quarter mile home. And as girls, we were not allowed to wear pants.